A lot has happened in Noteful since we last did a full review of the app about a year ago. So in this video, we will be covering everything you need to know about Noteful as of 2024. Fantastic human, hello, it's Robsy with Paperless X. If you're interested in learning to use any of the features that we cover in this video, we have a full course on our second channel, Paperless Humans. Noteful is a handwriting note-taking app for the iPad and iPhone, but it is also available on some MacBooks, the M series MacBooks that run iPad apps. The app doesn't have a native macOS version, so if you're using an Intel MacBook, you won't be able to use it. It is also not available on Android or Windows. It costs $4.99, a one-time purchase, and you can try it for free before purchasing it. This review is going to focus on the iPad version of the app. The app has a lot of page templates for new notebooks. You have basic, Cornell, storyboards, music, and even handwriting templates. We haven't seen this many music page templates. You can customize your page colors to determine the background and line color for your page template, and this can be any color you want from the available presets. And if those are not enough for you, you can use custom ones. The app has a few page size options, but you also have screen sizes for presentations. If you use Noteful and do a lot of presentations, let us know if you found these screen sizes useful, or if you're actually creating your presentations in Noteful using these screen sizes, and if they make a difference at all. Your pages in Noteful can either be portrait or landscape, and the app has some decent line spacing options for basic templates, but it's not something you'd jump for joy for. None of these options matter when you can use custom page templates, right? This is one of the things I love about Noteful, because most handwriting note-taking apps will only save a single page for a template, but in Noteful, I have saved our digital notebooks, whole digital notebooks with page covers and everything, with the hyperlinks, the whole shebang. This is a very big deal because number one, this is a very rare feature to find in a handwriting note-taking app. And number two, it really just makes managing my digital notebooks and planners very easy. The app even lets you organize these into categories. So if you're big on digital planning, digital notebooks, then you will definitely like how Noteful organizes them and how easily they are to access when you need them. Noteful strikes a healthy balance between minimalism and functionality. I love that they've kept the toolbar anchored to the edge of the screen when most apps are moving to the annoying floating toolbar. Curious to know if any of you guys also feel the same. The toolbar in the app is mobile, so it can go on any side of the screen, and you can also move the tabs either to the bottom or to the top of the screen. The toolbar can either be dark or light. I still am not getting used to the light toolbar. Maybe it's the gray icons that I'm expecting to be black. It would be better though if we could switch between these two toolbar colors from within the app without needing to go to the main settings of the app. Let's hope we can have that in the future. You can have as little as one icon and one color on your toolbar, making this the most minimalist the app can be. You can also turn off the iPad status bar to go into full screen mode, but I wouldn't recommend doing that because there is just too much information on the status toolbar that is quite useful. So it helps to just keep it. Noteful has 3 pen tools: ballpoint, fountain, and brush pens, with a ranging size that starts from 0.1 to 5 millimeters. You can save 5 thicknesses to easily switch between the thicknesses of your pen. And at the end of the toolbar, you get a color palette that can house as many colors as you like. You can pick your colors for your pens using a grid, wheel, color picker, or hex code, which covers all the options you need for choosing a color in a productivity app. Noteful has one of the most versatile pen tools you can find in a handwriting note-taking app. It has the best fountain pen you can have in a handwriting note-taking app because the app has so many fine-tuning settings that let you personalize your pen tool. With a bit of patience, you can design the best pen tool you will ever use on the iPad, at least as of 2024. And we've extensively covered this in the user guide that we have on our website or the course. It will help you understand all the different settings and what they can do for you for handwriting notes in the app. If you've already managed to design the perfect tool in Noteful that you think I should try, do let me know and I will try those settings. You have one highlighter in Noteful, which you can save 5 thicknesses for. How many highlighters do you need? Your highlighter has a different color palette from your pens though, and that is always a good thing. So you're not worrying about trying to have one color palette with both the pens you need for your pen tool and for your highlighter. So that is always a good thing. It goes behind your ink, so it doesn't dim your notes even if you layer it. Your highlighter can either be freehand or straight, and that pretty much covers everything you need for a decent highlighter tool in a handwriting note-taking app. So the color palette doubles as a favorites toolbar, which is minimalism on another level. But for new users, this can be a little bit confusing. Personalizing your pen tools in Noteful is very complicated. It's something you just want to do once and never have to do again. You will definitely be using this favorites toolbar a little more than you would in other apps, because without it, using Noteful would be a nightmare. The handwriting experience in Noteful is awesome, especially with the perfect pen tool. Of course, this is relative. If you still haven't found your tool, you might not like it. There is no lag. Palm rejection is now perfect, which is exciting to see because that has been a problem in Noteful since the app launched. But testing the app to doing the script and recording and everything, I didn't experience any of those zooming issues we used to have with palm rejection before. But my current use of Noteful is quite limited. So if you're using Noteful, please confirm this in the comments. It's just that for about a month now, I'm now using Apple Notes, which is a story for another video. Let me know if palm rejection has really been solved or I was just lucky for this video. Zooming in Noteful is impressive whether you're zooming directly on the page or you're using the zoom tool. Fitting your pages to the page width is quite easy when you're zooming directly on the page. That is the level that I've mostly used because it's the only consistent level you can always get in the app. A zoom percentage display would be really helpful with that, and also the ability to lock the zoom level. Even if you don't like using the zoom tool at 100%, you can take advantage of the palm rest in the zoom tool because you can adjust that. It also affects the zoom section in your notebook. The zoom window toolbar has your writing tools and you have the option to remove them if you don't need them. Because of where I keep my toolbar in the app, I definitely don't need these tools. It's always great to have options. So if you want it, you can have it. If you don't, you can just remove it. Given how accurate Auto Advance is, you probably won't need to move your tool manually, unless you want to move it in a completely different part of the page, which obviously will not be the next most logical place to go. So the app even has a margin for your auto advance, so you can choose where the auto advance starts on a new line, and that's always helpful. If you don't want to start at the very edge of your notebook, you can easily do that in Noteful by adjusting the margin for the zoom tool. The app also supports right to left writing and left hand mode. Okay, left hand, some apps have, but definitely left to right auto advance in a handwriting note taking app that we've not seen in any other handwriting note taking app. And we think it's actually very thoughtful of the developer to have that. Noteful supports regular and irregular shapes, which you can adjust after drawing them. You can easily resize and rotate them, and styling them will let you change the border color, the border thickness, and type. Autofill for your shapes can either be opaque or translucent, but it has to be the same color. You can't have a different color for your autofill and a different one for your border. They have to be the same color, which some might find a little bit limiting. You also get opacity options for the entire shape, which is rare to find in most handwriting note-taking apps. What do you guys prefer? Do you prefer having different colors for your autofill, or you'd rather have opacity options? Noteful does not support arrows, but you can draw basic curves, and those are also very easy to adjust. Tape in Noteful comes in 3 types. You have a freehand, straight, or rectangular tape. Your freehand and straight tapes have 5 fixed sizes that you can't change, but the rectangular one has a variable size. Both have their place. The app has one pattern for your tape, but it comes in infinite color options, if you have the patience to style them, of course. Tape has become a favorite for digital note takers that need to learn new things. You can review all the answers on your page at once or cover them all at once. That's the most efficient way to go through your notes when you're learning something, but if you really want to go through one answer or one question at a time, you can also do that. You can type your text, scribble it in, or scan it into your text boxes in Noteful. So they're easy to mix with handwriting and mix with other things. You can change the font of your text from a decent collection. The app even supports custom fonts if that is important for your workflow. You can change the font size and color, and you also have the basic formatting options for bold, italic, underline, and strikeout. Lastly, you can align your text or adjust its line spacing, and Noteful has quite a decent range for line spacing for text. It's starting to become a standard because a lot more apps are starting to add this, which is cool. To make your text pop out, you can style your text boxes to add a background color and a border for them. The border is not very visible for some light colors, so you can try to make it a little bit more visible depending on the color that you choose. You also have a thickness option and style for your borders, but the thickness option is not very good because they all just look the same. You only get 3 that are very close to each other, so the difference is almost negligible. Shapes also don't have that impressive range for your border thickness. If you really want to have thick borders for your text boxes or your shapes, then you won't be able to get that in Noteful, sadly. Like your shapes, text boxes also have an opacity option in the app. What is not as fun is resizing and rotating those text boxes. The developers have made it very easy to adjust how the text looks and to move the text box around the page, which we are really grateful for. But more importantly is resizing and rotation, especially rotation, because 2 steps to just rotate your text boxes feels like a lot for a digital workflow, especially because most note-taking apps have this in a single step. The whisker on the text box is quite confusing because you're expecting it to rotate your text box, but it's only for moving it around. Maybe we could replace that with the rotation whisker. Let me know if you use text boxes a lot. Is there something that is a deal breaker for you, or it's just another difference? The app can also save one favorite style for your text boxes, so we hope to get more in the future. The app supports web links, it can recognize them, and even give you an option to open them, but they're not well dressed. For aesthetics, if you really just need a link in your notes that you want to potentially go to a bit later that you want to save in your notes, then this does the job. You can add photos from the photos library, you can take one with your camera, or drag and drop it into the app. Should we even be mentioning PNG support in 2024? I don't think so. Noteful crops your images freely or as a rectangle. Image frames look cooler with free cropped images, but they look a bit neater with the rectangular crop. Resizing and rotation are now a lot easier, unlike for our text boxes, so this makes sense. You can also change the opacity of your photos. That is quite rare to find in a handwriting note taking app. But then again, I've actually never used that, so let me know, when do you change the opacity of your photos? Stickers are essentially photos, and Noteful doesn't have a lot of free ones in the app for you to explore, for you to use. You either have to create your own or import them into the app. Doing both is fairly simple in the app. You can create stickers from pretty much anything that you can pick up with your Lasso tool, and you can also import any photos, which completes the feature. Noteful also supports stickers from messages that you add to your text boxes. These are quite fun if you like using your message stickers, but unfortunately, the app doesn't support GIFs, so you can't see the animations on your stickers, like we have our Fantastic Human sticker pack. It's animated, but those animations, once you add the sticker to Noteful, the animation just disappears. So we hope in the future we'll be able to see the animations and at least support for GIFs. A lot of people like that, and I'm starting to appreciate why. Audio sync is still limited to handwritten notes for your audio recording in Noteful, and that is quite limiting for 2024. So unfortunately, you will have to mostly handwrite your notes while recording audio if you want it to be synced. I like the organization for your audio recordings though. The app timestamps every recording in case you forget to rename it, but it's probably better if you do rename it. You can also delete recordings and even share them out of the app if you want. Playback is still very simple with options to rewind or fast forward 10 seconds, and you can either speed up or slow down your playback. Tapping your sync notes will skip through the audio, which we're always happy to see because that is the whole reason to sync your audio recordings to your handwritten notes in the first place. The eraser tool has 5 fixed sizes that you can adjust, which is decent for an eraser tool. In most cases, it won't matter because your eraser can erase per stroke or per pixel. The pixel eraser is still not the smoothest, especially at very high zoom level. It's not going to be a deal breaker or anything. The eraser tool in Noteful can selectively erase your highlighter only. You can also set it to ignore your shapes and tape so that it doesn't erase those when you're using it. But you can also turn it on to erase those as well. It's supposed to automatically revert back to the tool you were using before, and that is all features checked for an eraser tool in a handwriting note-taking app. Which lasso tool do you prefer, freehand or rectangular? When they're exactly the same, it feels redundant having both, doesn't it? The lasso tool in Noteful is also selective, so you can pick up specific items on your page like handwriting only, highlighter only, text boxes, but your shapes and images, you can only pick those together. Everything else, you can pick one thing at a time. We expect nothing less in 2024. Noteful has the most sophisticated screenshot feature that we have seen in a handwriting note-taking app because it will ask you to exclude certain things, like you can exclude your background, you can exclude annotations even, and decide what resolution you want for your screenshot. The app can rearrange items in your notes in relation to each other. Your selection can either go to the front or to the back of other things on the page. Lastly, you can group items on your page if you want to resize them or move them together. So yeah, Noteful gives you all the control you need for selecting items on your page. Multitasking with multiple instances can open the same notebook twice. You can also open multiple tabs if you want to read more than one document. That's quite decent multitasking for a handwriting note taking app. Scribble is the only handwriting conversion you get in the app. Dark mode does not convert your pages, it only switches your user interface. But your paper and ink stay the same, sadly. The app doesn't have any widgets. Not a lot of good iPadOS support. You can view all the pages of your document in a separate window where you can choose how many pages or how much detail you want to see for each page. It's really cool. Selecting multiple pages lets you copy, rotate, tag your pages, delete them if you want, share, or rearrange them. The only feature missing in Noteful for page editing is duplicate, which copy and paste can easily fix that. It's a decent workaround. Extracting pages lets you create a new notebook using those pages that you've selected, but it doesn't delete them from the notebook you're copying them from. You can add new pages, which you can also do from the workspace. But we still don't have a quick way to add new pages to our notebooks on the toolbar. It's probably the only option missing from the toolbar at this point, so we hope to see that in the future because the developers have pretty much given us the option to add all these things, all the things you can add right on the toolbar itself. Adding new pages is still missing from that. Noteful supports both vertical and horizontal scrolling, and recently they started supporting two-page view. It works with horizontal scrolling, but if you like seeing your previous page when taking notes, you will definitely love this. But even better than that is the fact that we can crop our pages in Noteful. This is a highly requested feature in almost every handwriting note-taking app, but we've actually never seen any developer adding this to a handwriting note-taking app until now. You can crop your page to remove parts of it. That's how cropping works even for images. But even more exciting than that is that you can add space around your page if you want to add annotations or comments around your PDF. This is definitely my favorite update in Noteful in the last 12 months. Noteful does not search through your handwriting, and in 2024, that is a massive drawback. Many digital note takers want to search through their handwriting, even those who don't need to convert their handwriting. Handwriting search, really important. Your text search is not great either. It's too basic with a sidebar showing a small preview of your found terms. It will probably be more useful and more helpful if we got bigger previews, even some way to organize the results to make them more useful. That way we can decide what we want to focus on. The search tool is definitely the worst feature in Noteful, and if you rely on searching your notes, you will not like using the app. Even universal search on the homepage is not good because it only searches through your notebooks and tags. Let's hope the developers can work on improving the search engine in the app. Noteful has many ways to organize your notes, and this is one of the things I love most about the app, which make up for the terrible search tool. You can organize your notes on the page with layers, which is my preferred setup for active recall, but it's not the easiest to appreciate. Layers are also great for presentations because you can build your presentation with different layers that you present sequentially. Love, love, love layers. Let me know, are you a tape or layers human for active recall? Do tell. Universal tags in the app are accessible to all notebooks, either to tag individual pages in your notebook or the whole notebook. They're perfect for bookmarking pages you want to access on the homepage. I wish we could select multiple tags when going through documents in the app though. The app can also recognize and edit document outlines in PDFs, so you can create nested outlines from scratch, and that will help you organize your notes even more. But we're still waiting for the ability to export our outlines out of the app because at the moment, outlines only work within the app and we can't export them out. You can bookmark pages if you want, but with tags and outlines, bookmarks feel redundant. They have their place, but you probably won't be using much of them. Options are always great to have. Noteful organizes your notes into folders or with tags that behave like folders. Both support infinite organizational levels, which is more than enough. I always love tags, especially because you can also use them for pages. I never used folders in the app. You can pin notebooks for easier access, and the app has a smart folder for them, so these feel more like favorites than pinned notebooks in specific folders. Your documents can display as lists or thumbnails, and I love how you can resize the thumbnails. Always excited to see that, it never gets old. We still auto backup to Google Drive only, which is not enough options in 2024. We're hoping to be backing up to at least OneDrive and Dropbox. You can choose to exclude some tags for your backup. I've been taking digital notes for more than 10 years now, and I can probably count the number of times I've needed to export my notes out of my handwriting note-taking app. But even for those rare occasions, you don't want to wreck your brain over sharing a PDF with a friend or colleague, right? So it's important to always be able to at least export our notes out of any productivity app as a PDF, and Noteful does that without a problem. You can even present your notes from within the app, for which you have a pointer and trail in 3 different colors. It would be great if we could collaborate in the app, but not a lot of handwriting note-taking apps support that. If handwriting is the main determining factor when deciding on a handwriting note-taking app, look no further. Thanks to its many setting options for the pen tool, Noteful has the best handwriting experience on the iPad in 2024. At just $4.99, it is the cheapest handwriting note-taking app you can buy. However, its lack of handwriting conversion and search is a massive drawback if you plan on searching your handwritten notes. But we do not hesitate to recommend Noteful. Let us know what other apps you'd like us to cover on this channel. Thank you, fantastic human, for watching. See you in the next video.